team leader on 1089 and 1053 AM. James H. Reeve on TalkSport. Hello, TalkSport personage. It's James H. Reeve here, the man for whom time has no meaning. Your flexible filler of a philandering... Okay, it's... No, I wasn't going to, you're all right. Well, here we are at the atomically precise time of 25 minutes to 12. Your guess is as good as mine, but I know this. Put your money on Michael Gomez for that punch fight box arrangement, because I happen to know that he's, irrespective of his chosen profession, he's a big Manchester City fan, so everything's going our way just at the moment, you know what I mean? Right, James H. Reeve here with you as a sort of, I'm like that expanding foam that you can get from DIY shops. You know, the stuff in the can that you have to put the little plastic gloves on with that you get inside the cap. Because I can fill any cavity. Oh, Mrs. Don't. Infamy. But it's true. So tonight, what we've got for you is something which is neither my elbow nor any other part of my anatomy. Because it's... I've been working this out, actually. Tonight, this will be about... No, it'll be far longer than that. In radio terms, it's like flying from Speak Airport in Liverpool to Dublin. It takes you longer to go 6 miles on the bus than it does to make that flight. So this is the radio equivalent. You will hardly have finished your cup of tea and your one-finger Twix and wiped your hands with the refreshing, moistened TalkSport napkins which have been distributed for your ease and comfort before suddenly we've landed and it's 1 o'clock. So that's all you've got of me tonight. I don't care though. It's all the same to me. Do you know what I mean? Bring them along. I'll sort it out. But because of the rather unique structure of this evening's entertainment, this gives us the ideal opportunity to put into practice a plan that we've had up our sleeve for some time. And it's this. Well, I'll tell you why I've had it up our sleeve for some time, because we're not absolutely sure that it's very good or that it can be sustained for any length of time. So it's worth a try. Now, if we were facing 3 or 4 hours here, obviously this would be broadcasting suicide, but we might get away with it because of the little aperture that we've got to cram everything into, so that's all right. So I'll tell you what it is. I won't tell you what it is just now. I'll tell you this first. That was lovely, wasn't it, on the news about the triangular cricket. Now, we've experimented before, haven't we? We've speculated about how to improve sports which are perhaps not altogether in the public eye at the moment. And, you know, liven them up a bit, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? I told you about my theory about the golf, how that could be made much more attractive to a younger, more thrusting audience, which is to have the first day would be match play, whatever. The second day would be stroke play, or whatever the other, the opposite is. And the third day, we could take our cue from show jumping, and the third day would be 18 holes against the clock. First one back in the clubhouse wins that day. Isn't that brilliant? That certainly would add a little zest to what can be a sometimes predictable, rather soporific sport. Triangular cricket, can you picture it? Brilliant. The casualties have been massive. Anyway, I'll see if... what Kerry Packer's doing these days. Somebody will ring in a minute and say, he's decomposing. That's very cruel. He's dead. Well, I didn't know, did I? It was just a cheap gag, as will be confirmed by our accounts department. Now, what are we going to do tonight? Well, look, quite apart from listening to you talking tripe, which is just about the standard, there is this brilliant idea, and a lot of research has gone into it. We've put it together at comparatively short notice, so it's taken a lot of energy research and used up a lot of very valuable resources, because what we have done is, via the internet, which I always think is a sort of a safe thing to say, it reassures people that it's very complicated and therefore probably beyond them, and immediately puts you in a position of seniority. So via the internet, what we've done is we've linked a selected audience chosen by the same process, which we don't yet fully understand, the same process used to select the people who vote in the Eurovision Song Contest. Okay, no idea who they are. So, using microchip technology and superconductors and fibre optics. Oh, I've run out. Well, anyway, you know all that sort of thing. We're going to do tonight on TalkSport the much threatened yet never delivered visual gag night. Now, it's something of a radio experiment. I don't think it's done before. It has been done. You see, what it means is you do a gag which obviously is incomprehensible, and there's therefore no reaction. Now, I know Hale and Pace have been doing it on television for years, but this is the first time it's been tried on radio.
Ridiculous!
They said that about Thomas Edison and his flying machine. They were right. It didn't work. His light bulb did. Now, what we're going to do is do all visual gags. You have a visual gag. I've got some. I'm going to start the ball rolling shortly. Now then, this is the unique technology bit. By a process which
you get that name right?
Very much in its infancy. I can't go into it actually because the Pentagon are involved in everything, but and so is the theatre in Sheffield. But we can actually judge, our panel can judge your visual gag and respond automatically by pressing a button which, just to lighten things up a bit, is actually situated under the seat of the person sitting next to them. We thought we'd introduce that, just for their amusement, really. So that's it. Got the picture, and we will be able to tell how good your visual gag is by the response through our satellite link. I could probably be sued all the way to Salzburg for this one. But anyway, that's it. Okay, have I told enough lies now about what we're doing? I would say so. So, I'll start the ball rolling in a second. In the meantime, you know how to get your visual gag on the radio. 08700 40 50 60. 08700 40 50 60. Or, and this is where it becomes even more elaborate, this is for super users only. If you want, you can email me your visual gag, and I will transfer it to the radio. Isn't this brilliant? Oh, yes, it is. So, if you go to the website, the TalkSport website, which is talksport.net, click on email the presenter, and that's me, you see, broadly speaking. And then,
right, yeah.
Yeah, then I will have your visual gag written down in front of me. And I think together we're going to make this. I think we're present here at the birth of something which is going to be a very, very, very big in the radio world. Actually, it's. I mean, I'm prepared for a shaky start, but I think in years to come they'll point to this day, which is June the 31st, 2000. Oh, must do that. Later when I get home. July the 1st. Just about 2000, and say, it's just a cheap watch, that's all, and say this was the day when it all started. Or they may say, or I may say anyway, years from now, that was the day when it all finished. Anyway, we'll kick off very shortly. 08700 40 50 60. If you have the inclination and you have a good visual gag to do on the wireless. 08700 40 50 60. Let's have it. We're waiting for you here on 1080 AM and 10:53 AM TalkSport.
Grand Prix Racing with Nicky Horn on TalkSport. Hi, this is Nicky Horn, and if you're into Formula One, there's only one place to be this weekend for the French Grand Prix. Right here on 1089 and 10:53 AM TalkSport. Join Simon Taylor for up-to-the-minute news from the French Grand Prix, and of course his expert analysis throughout the race tomorrow from 1 p.m. Only on your team leader, TalkSport. Powered by www.sports.com, where the world of Grand Prix racing is just a click away.
www.sports.com
On TalkSport.
What was that? Just a pin. Oh. Right.
Want to go to work in the quietest Ford Transit ever? Job done. The all-new Ford Transit. Backbone of Britain.
A bit of a shambles.com. Not in a million years.com. Wouldn't it be easier to buy .com shares if the turkeys were called a bunch of cowboys.com? Blowing it all on shampers.com. Or they saw you coming, didn't they, .com? This Sunday, the Sunday Times predicts the next generation of .com successes in the E-League, the first comprehensive guide to the top 100 internet companies poised to float on Europe's stock markets. The E-League, tomorrow, only in the Sunday Times. Sportstar Super Cash on TalkSport. Play Sportstar Super Cash on TalkSport and win a guaranteed grand in your hand just by listening to the radio. I'm a Cruyff.
Anna Kulikova.
Tim Henman, starting Monday on the Sports Breakfast with Alan Brazil from 7:15. Listen up for the first clue to the identity of a mystery sports star. Guess correctly and win a minimum £1,000. Dan Collymore. Reeve Hunnett. Get it wrong. And the jackpot builds by £200. Each time we play Sports Star Super Cash. Throughout the day, every day. Only on TalkSport.
Oh dear. Lovely. Well, fun. So, good. Sorry, just rehearsing. Now, here we go. This is it. This is my passport to wealth, fame, and easy television compilations that you can knock off in an afternoon and then carry on with your proper job, or just go home and watch cricket. Right, first easy. It's a simple one, this, to start you off. Visual gag coming up. Ready? Okay. So, Mrs. No, don't take my wife, please. This lobster goes into a pub and he says, "Pint of bitter, please." No, that's not it. No, obviously. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. How will you know when the joke's over? Oh, dear. Not thought this one through, have we? Oh, well, the panel will know. You'll be able to tell from the panel's reaction. Well, I should have some sort of a bell or something like that. No, never mind. Didn't think of that. Right. Lobster goes to the pub. Says to the barman, "Pint of bitter, please." And the barman says, "I'm not serving you. Get out of my pub." And the lobster says, "Why?" And the barman says, "You're always coming in here, giving it that." Ding. Right. Okay, that's number one. Hey, and they're just going to keep on coming, thick and fast tonight. Do you want the other one? This is the other one, right? A man in an industrial accident. I'm not saying my wife's fat, but a man cuts his arm off in an industrial accident, and he goes to, they rush him to hospital and take his arm in some ice and that, and the surgeon sews his arm back on, and he goes to see him later, and he says, how's your new arm functioning? And the bloke says, magic. Steve is in a tent in Toaster, of course he is. And he's on TalkSport. Hello, Steve. Welcome to... Oh, right. Okay. So, that's the end of the Toaster idea. Righto. However, whatever Steve is, if Steve and his, I don't know, perhaps is in there with his good lady, because I always like a bit of camping, and I'm not the only one in the area at the moment. But in fact, I'll try this on John. John in Edmonton, you're on TalkSport. John in Edmonton.
Hi.
Oh right, I'm sorry. I thought you'd done the gag. No.
You know what I was doing?
Well, I'm not
I
sure.
was just plugging the adapter into the phone because it was just about to run out, so you just called me.
Oh, that was
so
very
that's visual, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very visual. I like the this is visual as well. I suppose they're all visual, but these have to have a visual punchline. Okay. Steve in the tent in Toaster, who won't be joining us now, it appears.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I like. Do you ever been on a camping holiday or anything like that, John?
I had loads.
Right. Do you take your missus with you?
Not anymore.
No. Have you ever, for the purposes of this gag?
Yes.
That's right. Because I like taking the wife on camping holidays. I like waking up in the morning and opening those flaps, don't you?
Nice one.
Anyway, your visual gag on this historic night, John.
Right, you've got to imagine this, right? So there's a one-armed fella. He goes in for a week.
Yeah.
So he's standing there with his, as you would tell this joke, you would have your other arm through your trousers with the finger sticking out.
Yeah.
And the guy comes in, knocks him on the back. He says, "Here, mate, give us some change for the telephone." He says, hang on, I'm having a wee. So he said, no, quick, I need... So he puts his hand in his pocket, his other hand, takes out the change, brings it forward, and sorts it out with his willy.
It is me, isn't it? It just doesn't explain things properly. Right, well, no reaction at all there from the panel, so it's thank you, John from Edmonton.
No reaction.
None whatsoever. It's all right, they're foreign, they don't understand it. Get off. No, look. The point is this. It has to be a gag with a vision, where something is not... You know perfectly well what I mean. Oh, it's just him, obviously. We'll try Walthamstow in a second. Allow me, though, to welcome you to all visual gag night in the presence of an international jury with James H. Reeve on 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. and a little bit of dyspepsia, as you probably noticed, TalkSport.
Play £5 with Bloomberg on the money all next week on TalkSport. Each morning from 5 a.m. we're giving away 5 sleek, state-of-the-art Palm 5 handheld electronic organisers, packing all the portable power you'll need to organise this life and probably the next.
Bloomberg on the money, the morning's news, the overnight update.
When you hear the special £5 5 question, be the first correct caller on line 5 and walk away with the hardware.
It's non-stop winning all next week from 5 a.m. when we play £5 5 with Bloomberg on the money on TalkSport.
You're on holiday. The weather's hot and you look hotter. You've got a cocktail in one hand and your toes in the sand. Could it get just a little bit better? Only if you know that because you bought your holiday insurance with directline.com, you probably saved up to 50% compared to some travel agents. And because you bought online, you saved an extra 5% too. Well, we did just say a little better. This summer, take a little extra off with directline.com and save 5% more on your holiday insurance when you buy online.
Save 60% off RRP on some of the hottest summer reading around at the online summer sale at whsmith.co.uk. For great value bestsellers from Terry Pratchett, Ian Banks, Ben Elton and many more. Click in and be quids in with summer reading at 60% off RRP at the whsmith.co.uk online summer sale.
There is no 27th letter of the alphabet. There is no mountain tougher than Everest. There is no equivalent to the Sunday morning kickabout.
There are better things to do than play or watch football. Ice skating, for example. I agree entirely.
There's nothing better. Local sport, massive coverage. The Sunday morning kickabout with Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs tomorrow morning from 7 on TalkSport.
Right, James H. Reeve on Visual Gag Night. Tonight on TalkSport, 1 week only, I would imagine.
If that. Let's keep them coming, eh? Let's keep up quick-fire comedy routine. Visual gags. To Walthamstow. Gilbert in Walthamstow. Welcome to TalkSport, Gilbert.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's actually a sporting thing. Attracting people to sport.
What?
Well, horse racing.
What?
Absolutely. How much...
What do you mean, absolutely?
The average horse... You think of the price of the average horse, racehorse, compared to the average wage of a jockey, a horse is obviously much more valuable. One thing that's bound to get the punters turning up to the actual races instead of just watching it on TV.
Have you been listening to anything I've said tonight?
We're on TalkSport.
Yeah. But I've said rather more than that. And
instead of shooting the horse, shoot the jockey.
Oh, right. Oh, I see.
And you can actually get the punters that want the front seat to pay more.
Oh, they'd love that, yeah.
The race courses will make more money.
Yeah.
You'll get more punters turning up for sure.
Yeah.
Animals' rights, people love it.
They'll be happy.
Everyone's happy.
There'll be no shortage.
Take more tax. Can't see any complaints.
There'll be no shortage of volunteers.
Absolutely.
And, the bit of a snag is there are those who won't take altogether too kindly to the idea of the jockeys being made into dog food afterwards.
Quite true. Quite true.
But who cares?
I'm sure we can find a way around that.
Yeah, but they're only short blokes. Who are they going to argue with?
Well, they're lightweight.
Yeah. Do you have a gag at all?
Not a visual one.
No. OK, then, thank you. That was rather the point of the show. Nonetheless, thanks very much for joining in with that novel idea, Gilbert. In Gateshead, we'll squeeze you in before the news. Anthony in Gateshead, are you overheating?
Hello?
Hello?
I've got a visual gag.
OK.
A man walks into a bar, right?
Yeah.
And he says to the barman, "You got any sandwiches?" He says, "We've got this new banjo sandwich." He says, "Banjo sandwich, what's in that?" He says, "Oh, all the works, ham, mayonnaise, lettuce, loads of crisps, everything you'd want in a sandwich." He says, "Oh, I'll have one of them then, please." And he says, gives him a big floppy banjo sandwich, right? He picks it up with his mouth, and he eats it. He says, the barman after he's eaten it, "Why is it called a banjo sandwich?" He says, "Look at his top." He says, "Oh, would you look at that?"
Brilliant! Brilliant! Anthony in Gateshead, thank you very much indeed. Barely comprehensible, but the principles were all in place. That's lovely. Oh, do you know, I may have underestimated. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. How taxing this was going to be for me tonight. Because all this new humour, not only will it stretch my chuckle muscles to the very utmost, but I'll be able to pinch them if I'm careful. All I'll have to do is go on stage, tell the gag, and hope that the people have seen it somewhere before, because I won't know. Yeah, it's not without its drawbacks, actually, this idea, is it? Thinking about it. I mean, at the planning meeting, it all went very well. But, well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Give something a trial and make adjustments on course. That's the way I look at things. So we certainly seem to be doing that, don't we? OK, you won't believe this, but after the news, we're going to speak to Cornelius in Islington, and more of your visual gags on special visual gag night on 08700 40 50 60. Call James H on TalkSport.
Our updates from the Sky News Centre, 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. TalkSport.
It's 12 midnight, I'm Andy Hayes. Kevin Keegan has threatened to quit as England manager, according to a Sunday newspaper. The Sunday Mirror says Keegan told the Football Association to stuff their job, but was eventually persuaded to stay. The row is thought to have been over a suggestion that the coach needed tactical help. The FA's David Davis has, though, denied the rumours. Tony Blair says lower taxes on petrol would mean fewer nurses and worse schools. Writing in the News of the World, the Prime Minister said cutting duty by 2p would cost the Treasury almost £1 billion. Meanwhile, Labour-supporting multi-millionaire novelist Ken Follett has attacked the government's use of secret briefings and spin. It's been revealed snooker star Ronnie O'Sullivan booked himself into the Priory Clinic just over 2 weeks ago battling drug addiction. His manager, though, Ian Doyle, said he'd been unaware the player was having problems. It's hoped he'll be back for the new season in August. TalkSport snooker correspondent David Hendon says it's not the first time O'Sullivan has been in trouble over drugs.
He did fail a drugs test 2 years ago in Ireland, which resulted in being stripped of the Irish Masters title. He had to hand back the £61,000 first prize, but it was thought that he got his head in gear and was concentrating on his snooker.
A gang of youths armed with knives have attacked and robbed more than a dozen train passengers. The incident, known as steaming, happened at Clapham Junction Station in West London. The injured included a man who was slashed with a knife and a pregnant 16-year-old girl who needed hospital treatment after being hit on the head. There are 9 suspects, all aged between 15 and 16. Mobile phones, cash and a rail pass were stolen. Tonight's winning lottery numbers 11, 16, 22, 39, 42 and 48. The bonus number is 38. No one matched all 6 numbers, so the 7 million jackpot will roll over to next week. And Sunday's weather, bright intervals and showers. On to the sport. England are celebrating victory in the second test against the West Indies after a nail-biting finish at Lord's. Needing 188 for victory, they survived another middle-order collapse. Dominic Cork hit an unbeaten 33 to guide them home with 2 wickets spare and levelled the series. TalkSport's co-commentator Jeff Boycott says it's a big blow for the Windies.
Some inexplicable captaincy by Jimmy Adams, some juvenile captaincy. The way he spread the field when he needed to attack. If this would have been in West Indies, the local crowd would have crucified him, whether it was Jamaica, Barbados, anywhere in the Caribbean. But who cares in a way? England win with some splendid performances, and Cork in particular, I thought he did really well.
Tim Henman's through to the last 16 at Wimbledon. The British number 1 beat the Moroccan Hisham Aratzi in straight sets 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. There were also wins today for defending champion Pete Sampras, Mark Philippoussis and Andre Agassi, but fourth seed Gustavo Kuerten is out. He lost to the unknown German Alexander Popp. Defending champion Lindsay Davenport, Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario and Monica Seles were amongst the winners in the ladies' singles. Emmanuel Petit could miss the Euro 2000 final. Arsenal's French midfielder has a heavy cold and a fever. Britain's David Miller's marked his debut in the Tour de France by winning the opening stage. He finished 2 seconds ahead of last year's winner, Lance Armstrong. And Michael Schumacher's on pole for tomorrow's French Grand Prix ahead of David Coulthard. Ferrari and McLaren line up on the second row as well, with Rubens Barrichello third and Mika Hakkinen fourth. And that's the latest. More news and sport in an hour.
Your team leader on 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. James H. Reeve on TalkSport.
you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. I know, I'm not supposed to say that. Well, thank you indeed. Nice to hear the newsroom joining in with the visual news. A little bit of a mime to begin with. I don't know, he must have thought I was on What's My Line, miming being a newsreader before he kicked off. There's some good visual gags coming through on the internet service now. Hey, Reeves, I ain't sending you any gags because you never read mine out, so there. That's the idea. Good. And from Peter Beardsley. Oh, good. Yes, do you like my brackets? That's very good indeed. Thank you. Okay, more of those coming round. Surely not. To Islington. Cornelius!
Good evening.
Hello, Cornelius. Good morning.
I've making very beef. Thank you for calling me.
What about beef?
Two schoolgirls playing in the playground.
Hang on, whoa. Just a minute. I know it's visual, but let's try and polish up the delivery a little. Take it easy, relax.
I'm sorry.
Coax the audience.
Yeah. Three girls playing in the playground.
Two whats?
Three schoolgirls.
Three schoolgirls,
yeah.
Right. Okay.
One said to the other, "What's your dad?" "My dad is a doctor. He makes me work for nothing." "Oh." And the second girl, "What's your dad?" "My dad is a teacher. He makes me trouble for nothing." Third girl, "What's your dad?" "My dad is a baker. He makes me good for nothing." Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Have a nice evening.
Well, I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now. Thank you. Bye-bye. What? All right, obviously, he's just joined us. Didn't quite gather. Right. Back to the beginning, then. A very good evening to you, and welcome to TalkSport. Now then, tonight I'm James H. Reeve. Although if it carries on like this, next week I may very well be working under another name. And because we've got a little bit of an unusual gap this evening, an uncharacteristic duration of the broadcast, I thought we'd use the limited time as an opportunity for this very limited idea, which is that of doing all visual gags. Cornelius got hold of the wrong end of the stick. As indeed do the majority of people who've called in. So maybe there's a bit of a flaw in this somewhere. No, I'm determined to go through with it. The banjo sandwich gag is very, very good indeed. Believe me. So, 08700 40 50 60 on the phone line, or you can email me your visual gag, describe it to me, and then, to make the process even more complex, I will then relay the gag on the radio. I think this is going to be really big, you know what I mean? Might be an award in this for me. So, from Islington, let's see if Pete in Coventry has got the faintest idea what's going on. Pete, welcome to TalkSport.
Hi there.
Hi.
Now, a woman goes into the local supermarket, just doing the ordinary weekly shop, mooching and shelves and whatnot, and suddenly comes a sales shop and says, "Where the heck are the baked beans?" Calls the manager over. Manager says, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't do baked beans anymore, but have a look at this."
I don't get that.
No, not me, but there you go.
Oh, yeah, right, okay.
It's visual, you've got to imagine it.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, thanks very much indeed, Pete from Coventry. Right, okay, I'm going to try another one. Now, I've been having a look, but I haven't got a bell or a klaxon or anything else. Klaxon, that's a funny word, isn't it? Never mind. I haven't got anything else really which could be used to indicate when the gag has finished. What I've got... Oh, I think that's gilding the lily a little, but thanks all the same. That's too much. What I've got is a bottle of milk,
That's it. That's the one. And I can hit it with the metal plate in my head, which will indicate that that is the end of the joke. Okay? So I'll just give you a... What's that? I'll just give you another example. And this isn't one of mine. This is... I tell you whose this is. Whose is it? This is one of Mick Miller's, this. Mick Miller. Very funny man. Now, this is the joke. Ready? Visual gag. There's two blokes in the pub, and one says to the other, what do you do in your spare time? You got any hobbies or anything like that? And the other fellow says, no, not really. He says, interested in football? He said, no, not quite. What about fishing? Have I tried any fishing? He said, no, I can't be bothered with fishing. Right. Oh, he says, I tell a lie. No, he says, I haven't got a hobby. He says, I keep bees. What he says, do you? This must be very interesting, right? He says, yeah. He says, how many have you got? He says, what do you mean? He says, how many bees have you got? He says, I've got 8. Oh. He says, how big are they? He says, they're about that big. Oh, he says, how big's the hive? He says, the hive's about that big. He says, oh, well, how do they go on when it rains? He says, oh, bugger 'em. Ding. Yeah, lovely. There we are, you see. So, that's the calibre of material we're looking for. Visual gags, special night on. Come on, Dennis Norden can't last forever. Special visual gag night on TalkSport. 10:89, 10:53 a.m. You give us your visual gag on 08700 40 50 60 or via the website talksport.net. And I am prepared to say at this point still, I'm James H. Reeve.
Oh, he's looking for 2, he's going to go for it. He's gone for 2, it's going to be great.
TalkSport teamed up with Sky Digital to celebrate Sky Sports live and interactive coverage of the new Triangular Cricket Series featuring England, Zimbabwe and the West Indies.
Now for in! Caddick has got through the defences.
Join Tom Watt on the season ticket all next week to play Hit for 6.
Smacked away, 6 more by Nasser Hussain.
You could win VIP tickets to the one-day international series or a cricket bat signed by the England team.
It's all action, satisfaction for cricket lovers.
Play Hit for 6 with Tom Watt and celebrate a summer of sports on Sky Sports. You can't get closer to the action. It's non-stop winning on 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. TalkSport.
A bit of a shambles.com. Not in a million years.com. Wouldn't it be easier to buy .com shares if the turkeys were called a bunch of cowboys.com? Run it all on shampers.com. Or they saw you coming, didn't they, .com? This Sunday, the Sunday Times predicts the next generation of .com successes in the E-League, the first comprehensive guide to the top 100 internet companies poised to float on Europe's stock markets. The E-League, tomorrow, only in the Sunday Times.
Light the fuse and take cover. Mission Impossible is now on DVD. Tom Cruise ignites the screen with state-of-the-art digital pictures and exclusive special features. Buy Mission Impossible on DVD from Monday. And watch out for the blockbuster summer movie Mission Impossible 2. In cinemas from July 7th, rated 15.
Do you want super unleaded or premium?
Well, I might as well have the premium since that's what I'll be paying. It's B-Day minus 30. B-Day, of course, being boycott the pumps day. You're not doing very well. Prices continue to rise. You have to do better. I'm Mike Dickens. Report to me Monday morning at 10 on TalkSport.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. I'm sorry, Portillo was just showing me something. Now, this, I can't tell whether this is a visual gag or indeed a gag or what. But it's a bit hat stand. This is, it's an email, this. A Christian, actually it says a Christian here, but I take your point. A Christian, a Muslim and a Jew were at a religious convention and they asked each other what brought them. The Christian said, I was in an aeroplane when it began to lose altitude in a thunderstorm. I prayed to God with all my might. Suddenly, for 100 yards all around, the thunderstorm abated and we were able to land safely. The Muslim said, I was in the middle of an earthquake and the ground began to crack and open up. I prayed to Allah with all my might. Suddenly, for 100 yards all around, the earthquake stopped and I was able to get to safety. And the Jew said, it was the Sabbath and I was walking along the Wailing Wall when I saw an enormous bag of money filled with notes of large denomination. I prayed to Jesus with all my might, and suddenly, for 100 yards all around, it was Thursday. I've got a feeling that is a fantastically clever gag.
You're such a hoot.
Well, certainly, Franco Carmen is. What about Tony in London? Welcome to TalkSport, Tony.
Hello there.
Which bit of London? Come on. Come on, the old...
I'm actually outside Embankment at the moment.
Embankment, near the station?
That's all right.
Lovely. Near the... Oh, that's near the Wobbly Bridge, isn't it?
It is.
Yes,
not too
yeah.
far.
Yeah. Well, don't go over it. It's not safe.
No, not planning to.
Okay. See how we worry about you?
Yeah, I've got a gag for you.
Is it a visual gag?
It is indeed.
Good.
Okay, there's two turtles, and they're sitting on the shore, and it's pouring down with rain. One of them turns around to his pal and says, "Dear, do you find, when it rains, it rolls down your shell and lands in your mouth?" And his mate says, "No."
Right. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Let's hear it from all round our European panel of judges for Tony from London. That's, I think that's an audible gag. Not to worry. Let's go straight to, and I think this is a right lash up this, I've got a feeling. Pauline, would you like to come on TalkSport at all, Mrs.?
Hello, James.
Hello, Pauline.
I've got a gag for you.
Now listen, Portillo, who took down your particulars,
yes,
who were Mrs.
Can I do you now, sir?
Yes. Well, he said, I think she's from Burley and Wolfdale.
Yes, Wolfdale.
Wharfdale.
Not Wolfdale.
I know. Or maybe that was me, I don't know. From Burley and Wharfdale. Oh, that sounds lovely. It sounds as if Foggo and Compy and Cleghorn are...
They're all clean.
Yes. Good. Anyway, Pauline, what's your visual gag?
Right, there was a group of soldiers on duty in the desert, and having gotten all over tan, they decided to get the willies bronzed. So they buried themselves in the sand among the cacti with the willies sticking out. Anyway, there was a group of these women tourists came by, and one woman said to her friend, she said, "Here, Elsie, they're growing wild out here."
Pauline from Burley and Wharfdale misses the point completely! Get off! Look, how many times... The idea is, it's not a visual gag just because someone sees something in the joke. It's got to be, look, all right. What's the one about the, oh, I can't do it, about the monkey? The monkey and its index finger. Well, you know the one where he gets the banana out and cuts it in half. And the monkey does that with its eyelid. That's the sort of gag we're talking about, obviously. Let's try Liverpool. City of comedians.
All right, James.
Let's see if we've got the exception.
Yeah.
Tim in Liverpool.
Yeah, hello, James. Burley and Wharfdale. Now, that was a good visual gag, that was, wasn't it?
I suppose it was,
an
really,
excellent visual gag, that was.
I missed that one.
But I've got one for you as well. Right, a bulldog and a scabby, mange-infested mongrel. They go into a chip shop.
Yeah.
And the owner says to the bulldog, he says, "Yes, sir. What would you like?" The bulldog says, "Oh, I'll have
two of your finest steak and kidney pies and one of those juicy saveloys. He says, no problem at all, sir. Turns to a mongrel. Scabby, horrible, mangy old thing. He says, what would you like, sir? He says, I'll just have the scratchings. Ding!
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, no, yeah, it was where to put the ding, which was a problem there, Tim. Right. Thank you. Look, I really must... How can I... There's got to be a way of putting this across. You see, the gag has got to have... It's not just got to have people seeing things in it. It's got to be the joke depends on an action rather than words. All gags are visual. If you say a man walks into a pub, then you visualise a man walking into a pub. But I might do something else instead. I know, let's resort in desperation to some communications which are arrived via our email facilities. And this is the sort of thing. Yeah, thanks very much indeed. You know, I only sit here when I could be sitting at home. I mean, enjoying a full social life and or in the bosom of my family. And this is what you get. From Tez Parkinson. Oh, in Cleethorpes. Oh, blimey. Well, no, they're not on the panel. They're struck off. That can't really... that doesn't help, actually, admitting that you're from Cleethorpes, because I should imagine anything will pass as entertainment. He says, I do enjoy TalkSport, but bloody hell, James, I've never known anyone take so long to say something as you. Is it because you don't get any calls that you feel that you have to drone on and on and on, etc.? Best wishes, but give it a rest. Tezza. Well, first of all, anyone who calls themselves Tezza is in serious difficulties, like being called Rob. And I'm quite happy to say something very short and to the point in your case, but I might do it privately. Okay, nonetheless, though, thank you for making me feel worthwhile. And Mike Adams from Eccles, hurrah, says, I'm sure that your sobriquet of a show will be filling enough. Sobriquet? You don't know what sobriquet means, you pudding. Why is that septic allowed 4 hours after you in the first place? That's the way it is. I'd rather he did 4 than I do, frankly. By the way, I've just downloaded Mint Royale off MP3. There are times during the course of an evening when you have to sound as if you know what you're talking about. Oh, downloaded them off MP3? Yeah, I've done that. And the full version is a complete rumper stumper. Next time you're quaffing with them, apologise from me for enjoying them for niche. Okay. For niche, without any ooftish. It's all right. They know it goes on, Tal. In fact, I think they did it. I don't know, really. Let's have, look, it's 20-odd minutes past midnight, nearly 25 past on TalkSport. I am James H. Reeve, swimming valiantly against the tide, as you will have noticed, right? It's all visual gags night, and what promised to be a real breakthrough and something which would draw me to the attention of the movers and shakers in the media business is turning out to be signing my own death warrant. But never mind. George in London may be able to rescue the situation. Georgie, Podgy, welcome to TalkSport. Oh.
Hello.
Hello, George.
James.
George.
Hello, James.
Hello there. What was it? What? Did I hear Elvis Presley just then?
You did.
Oh, dear.
Can you hear it again?
No.
How come? Do you like the geezer?
Do I like the geezer?
You like Elvis?
I like Elvis, but I'm glad he's dead. Anyway, now...
You ready?
Right, your visual gag, George.
Right. I'm not sure it's quite visual. Do you want to hear it anyway? Do you want to hear it anyway?
Oh, well, I want to hear it and visualise it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Man and woman got married.
Yeah?
Went on the honeymoon.
Yeah?
soon as I got into the hotel, woman dashed in the bathroom,
Yeah?
looked in the mirror, put all loads of makeup on. By the time she got out of the bathroom, saw her husband lying on the bed. She goes to him, come on, darling. He goes, look, go away, I'm reading my book.
Yes?
But darling, you promised me we'd have sex on the night we got married. He says, go away, I'm reading. She got really angry. She got on her side of the bed, she crossed her legs. 5 minutes later, she felt a finger creeping up her bum.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over her shoulder, she says, what, do you fancy me now? He says, no, I'm just putting my finger to turn the page over.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, thank you. It's, not really what we were after. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's not a visual gag at all. Good. However, although at the moment this doesn't look as if it's quite going to turn into the irresistible avalanche of witty no-liners, I still try to nurture the hope that one will emerge between now and 1 o'clock. You never know. Let's try Blackpool. Blackpool is where we'll find, Linda. Linda in Blackpool.
Hello, James.
Hello, you're not Linda Nolan, are you?
I'm not, no.
No, you're not? Oh.
No, I'm not, unfortunately.
Yes, it's welcome to TalkSport, Linda.
Oh, thank you. I've got a gag for you, only a short one.
Is it a visual gag?
Well, I think so.
Look, let me give you an example. I think this is the best one, you see. This is the way it works. I'll go right back to the beginning, to the lobster walking into the pub, right?
Yeah.
This is the gag. Lobster goes into the pub. The barman says, get out, I'm not serving you. And the lobster says, why? And the barman says, you're always coming in here giving it that.
I don't get that one.
Well, thank you. You see, it's a visual gag.
Right.
The punchline is a visual one.
Right.
So you have to see it.
Right.
But you can't.
No, you can't.
No.
No.
Because it's the wireless. Yeah.
Right, these two sausages walked into a pub, right?
Yes.
Said to the landlord, can we have 2 pints of bitter, please? And the landlord said, I'm sorry, we don't serve food.
Yes, you're right. No, I wouldn't bother. No, thank you.
Okay.
No. Listen, if you are Linda Nolan, it's time to chuck it. Oh, dear. Now, what's the problem here? What am I doing wrong? Very hard to tell, really, isn't it? So, anyway, working on the lobster premise, I think the only real gem that's emerged here is the banjo one. Or the baked beans one was outstanding, actually. But you should have the picture by now. So, 08700 40 50 60. Call the visual gag line here at TalkSport.
Play 5 pound 5 with Bloomberg on the money all next week on TalkSport. Each morning from 5 a.m. we're giving away 5 sleek, state-of-the-art Palm 5 handheld electronic organisers, packing all the portable power you'll need to organise this life and probably the next.
Bloomberg on the money, the morning's news, the overnight update.
When you hear the special 5 pound 5 question, be the first correct caller on line 5 and walk away with the hardware. It's non-stop winning all next week from 5 a.m. when we play 5 pound 5 with Bloomberg on the money on TalkSport.
If you cannot find Sunraysia, please be patient for a while, because your favourite supermarket will soon have Sunraysia prune juice in the aisle.
You can now find Sunraysia prune juice in the fruit juice aisle of selected Safeway stores. 15 pence of your purchase price of Sunraysia's 1 litre prune juice is donated to the Cancer Research Campaign to support their vital cancer research and education.
What follows is a commercial for AAP. We would like to warn you that certain listeners may be offended. If you've surrendered your endowment policy and you didn't call AAP first, then quite simply you have a large vacuous space between your ears where your brain should be. And this is the sound of someone knocking on your big empty head. because one phone call to AAP could have earned you thousands of pounds. If your endowment policy started before 1992, AAP could offer you up to 35% more than if you surrendered to the life company. So if you've already surrendered your policy, start to feel angry. But if you haven't, call AAP now for your free brochure and valuation on 0800 064 1967. Absolute Assigned Policies Limited are regulated by the Personal Investment Authority. 0800 064 1967.
On 1089 and 1053 AM,
Oh, that's nifty. Right. I must tell you, actually, to try to, I don't know, restore some sense, just to show that life isn't all beer and skittles and relentless enjoyment and one rib-tickling moment after another. In case you're in any doubt, I must tell you something, a rather alarming thing that happened this very evening. A reminder of your own mortality. And it's the first time it's been quite that clear. Anyway, listen, Donegal, Joe is in Donegal. Welcome to TalkSport, Joe.
James, how's the farm?
How's me what?
How's the farm?
How's the farm?
Yeah, that's what we say over here in Donegal. Like.
Oh, right. Not like a farm?
No.
No.
Such a hoot.
Right. Anyway.
I've got a visual joke for you.
Oh, I do hope you mean this.
I have.
Yes.
I want all the male listeners to do this as well. I've got two imaginary dices in my hand. I want you to stick them in your hand.
Two imaginary dishes?
No, dices.
Oh, dice.
Yeah.
Two imaginary dice. Okay.
Stick them in your hand.
Yep.
Close your fist.
Yeah.
Shake them.
Yeah.
Shake them again.
Yeah.
Shake them again.
Yes.
Does that remind you of your first sexual experience?
No! But I take your point.
It is visual.
Thank you.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. Probably shouldn't have been allowed, but at least it's a start. To Blakely, I assume. It's the Blakely in Manchester, am I right?
Sure is, James.
Sean in Blakely in Manchester.
Good evening, James.
Good evening, Sean.
Two Irish lads in the Wild West 200 years ago looking for a job.
Okay.
They tried the railway yard, and the guy says, no, you can't. There's no work here for you, lads. We've got all the Chinese working here. He said, the only way you'll make any money in this town, scalping them Indians. So off they go.
I'll tell you what, I'm already impressed with the number of ethnic minorities you've offended. Yeah, brilliant.
Politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Off they go.
Keep going.
Cherokee. Paddy runs up, jumps up, nappers him, gets him off the horse. He said, right, Mick, he said, give us a knife, he said, and I'll scalp him. He said, I haven't got the knife, I thought you had the knife. He said, well, give us that brick over there. So he gets the brick, belts him with it, gets his scalp off. He said, right. He said, look behind you, Mick. And he looks behind him, and there's 3,000 Cherokees on the ridge. He went, Jesus Christ, he said, we'll be millionaires.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very kind indeed, Sean. And yes, I'd do the same for you. Right, there we are. Not a visual gag. But I'll pinch it, because that will come in handy. Now then, from... Oh, I know what it is. I know what's happened here. You've been getting away with it up to now, but you've all rung each other up, haven't you? You've all been in contact and decided that tonight's the night you're all going to get together and finish me off. But you won't do it, I'll tell you. We are now going to speak on TalkSport to Eli in Penge.
Hello?
Eli?
Hello?
Hello, Eli.
A bald-headed man walking down the street, or up if you like, had his hat blown into the front garden. A Staffordshire Bull Terrier appeared and tore his hat to pieces. When the dog went into the house, he knocked at the door. The owner appeared, told his story, and he said, my dog, my garden. He said, I don't like your attitude. The house owner said, my attitude is your attitude.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Eli. That's lovely. Now, you see, a visual gag is not a visual gag just because somebody's hat blows off. When I say blows off, that's a bit of a visual gag, isn't it?
Do go on.
No. The whole point is that Dave is on the M20. Dave!
Hi, James.
Have you got a true on this visual gag night? Visual gag?
I'd like to think so. Right, guy goes into a pub and says, have you got any work? Guy goes, yeah, we have. It's dead simple. I need you to be a barman because coincidentally I need the afternoon off. He goes, it's very, very simple around here. We're, as you can see, directly opposite the explosives factory. So they only drink 2 drinks, whiskey or beer. He said, it's dead simple. They go like that for whiskey and like that if they want beer.
Now, this sounds promising.
Yeah, I know, okay. So, Ray goes, right, okay, that's it, I'm off now, I'm off the afternoon off. So the guy's standing there, and sure enough, this guy comes through the door and goes, like that. He goes, oh, right, whiskey, fine, gives him a drink. Bloke drinks it. And he starts talking to him, and he suddenly realises that he can't hear anything, because they've also been working in the explosives factory. So, next guy comes in, and he says, what do you want? He goes like that, he goes, oh, it's a beer, fine, lovely, I'll have that. So he gets with, and gradually more and more people come in, and they go, like that. He goes, right, whiskey, right. And another guy comes up, like that, beer, fantastic. This goes on all night. And there's loads of them all coming up, go, that's for whiskey, like that for beer. So it gets towards the end of the night, and all of a sudden this bloke comes up to me and goes, like that. And he goes, oh my God, what does that mean? He goes, that's not whiskey or beer. So the guy next to him comes up and he goes, like that. He goes, oh God, what is it? They're all doing the same thing now. And there's about 100 of them all going like that. He goes, that's not whiskey or beer, I don't know what to do. All of a sudden the landlord comes back in and goes, what's going on? What are you doing? He goes, well, I know whiskey and I know beer. They're all, you know, there's no one doing that. They're all going like that. He goes, oh, no. He goes, they've all started singing. We'll never get rid of them now.
Oh! Oh, now that's not bad. That's not, yes, that is probably 75% there, I would say.
Oh,
Which, well, as you'll appreciate, it's a tremendous improvement on what we've had recently.
Absolutely.
Dave on the M20. Thank you. Let's hear it all the way from, or on, the M20. Wait. What is the secret of good comedy? Obviously not this.
Give over!
Or him. Anyway, that was Dave on the M20. Thank you. I wonder if Vic's going to speak to us now. No, apparently not. Okay, right. Thank you, Portillo. Tom, where are you, Tom? Hey?
Hello, I said hi.
Where are you? What's the matter with people? It's a simple question.
I missed that part.
Would you like an easier one?
Yeah, I'm in Kent, actually.
Tom in Kent.
Right. This one is 2 hippopotamuses, right, in the middle of Africa, in the mud flats.
The mud flaps?
Yeah, flapping about all day long for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And one turns around to the other and says, I keep forgetting today's Thursday.
What's visual about that?
Well, I can visualise it, can you?
Well, of course you can visualise it. I can visualise my mother-in-law. She's so fat. She's really fat. I can visualise that. Of course I can visualise it. I can visualise a man going up to the door of a boarding house, and the landlady opening the door, and she says, what do you want? He says, I want to stay here. So she says, well, stay there then. Right? That's not a visual gag, apart from the fact that you have to visualise him standing on the doorstep. It's like the lobster gag.
Yeah.
So how does the lobster gag end?
Well, I missed that part.
Oh. It's got to be a visual gag.
Well, I tried.
I know you did. The lobster comes into the pub and says, but in fact, he doesn't say anything. Before he can say anything, the landlord says, get out, you're barred, I'm not serving you. And the lobster says, why? bear in mind, it's a lobster, you see.
Yeah.
And the landlord says, you're always coming in here giving it that. See?
Yeah.
That's a visual gag.
Well, I could have been a lot ruder.
Well, I'm sure you could.
That's a tame one for me.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. In the Garden of England with a beautiful woman. Let's try in the shadow of Europe's largest brick structure. Mike. Mike, welcome to TalkSport.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I've got a good one here, hopefully.
Do you understand what's going on here?
Yes, I got told this on today, actually. I found it quite amusing.
Right.
Right, two caterpillars.
Ah.
Sat there, on the leaf, chewing away.
Yeah.
And this butterfly was floating over the top of him. One turns to the other. You won't get me up in that thing.
It's not a visual gag. It isn't. Just because someone looks at something, that doesn't...
You've got the two caterpillars sitting there.
I know.
And then you get the butterfly coming over the top. And he turns to him, you won't get me up there in that thing.
I know. But... clear off. Right,
Yeah.
This is a nightmare. It's perfectly simple. How many gags are there? Without, what do you call one of those? One of those, Dad. Right? It's all turning to ashes, isn't it? It's all collapsing. Here's me thinking that I'd be up there. Dennis Norden is, he's practically gone now, really, hasn't he? Right, they must be looking for a replacement. I could walk on 50 minutes, a line for the commercials, 50 minutes of claptrap, and 30 grand in your pocket. But this isn't going to get me there, is it? All right. Torquay then. Come in, Torquay. Welcome to TalkSport. I know, let's just put it out of your mind. Let's start afresh. Bryce!
You just told my gag.
No!
Yes.
Oh, no!
Yeah, but you've got a great show there. It's the funniest thing that I've heard for ages.
Well, it's no thanks
Great
to these
success,
Herberts. All right, let's try this one. This is, I think that is the original visual gag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry about that. Have I taken the...
chips, isn't it? No.
What?
Whatever you do, don't say chips.
Okay. Right. You know this the one about, would you like to meet my friend? My invisible friend.
Right.
And, you say, where is he? And, you say, he's standing on the palm of my hand.
Oh.
Do you know this one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And you say, would you like to say hello to him? He's very friendly. But I must warn you that he doesn't wear any clothes. But it doesn't matter because he's invisible. You see? And then you say, if you can persuade anyone to not to, ask the landlord to throw you out by this stage, you say, and what he likes most is being tickled under the chin. Yeah?
Yep.
So you say, go on, he likes that, he'll be your friend then. So somebody does that, and then you say, well, that's very kind of you, but actually he's that tall.
That's it.
That's the one, yes! Of course! That's a visual gag.
Super.
Super's not the word.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sorry for telling your gag. I'm very, very sorry indeed. But
Right, see you later.
But feel free to tell any of my gags.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There we are. Fair exchange is no robbery. Or send them to the Daily Star and get a £5 for them. Sobriquet. I'm going to bring this all down to earth. Not that it hasn't already crashed to the ground by this stage, but I'm going to tell you something. I've got to tell you this because it's quite a hideous incident. I'll tell you in a second. But let's keep on this special gala occasion. let's keep the visual gags a-coming, because a proper one is bound to rise eventually. And I'm sorry that I just destroyed the only real one we've had for about the last hour. 08700 40 50 60, Fern-wise, or if you can email me a visual gag written down, even better. And you do that by going to the website of TalkSport.net. And while you're on there, click email the show. And I am the show. The show is moi. 08700 40 50 60, phone thing misses. 1:45, it's James H. Reeve on 1089 for the time being anyway. On 1089 and 10:53 a.m., which is TalkSport.
There is no 27th letter of the alphabet. There is no mountain tougher than Everest. There is no equivalent to the Sunday morning kickabout.
There are better things to do than play or watch football. Ice skating, for example. I agree entirely.
There's nothing better. Total Sport, massive coverage. The Sunday morning kickabout with Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs. This morning from 7 on TalkSport.
Okay. Right, I'm not going to do the reminder of your own mortality business. Let's go to Jim on the M25. Come on, TalkSport, and do a proper visual gag.
Good evening, James.
Yes.
Well,
don't ask.
Okay, mate. Right. Well, what we have, right? Why do the seals have flat penises?
I don't know. Oh, now, there we are. Now, you set a trap for me there, and I'm delighted. All credit to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much,
I
James.
take my hat off to you.
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm relieved that I've got them out of the system.
Well, I think we've all felt like that from time to time, Jim. Thank you very much indeed.
Have a very nice night,
And
mate.
the same to you. There's a slim possibility now after that one. Right. Hey, very good indeed. To Putney. John is in Putney. Clamber up our primitive rope ladder and join us on TalkSport, John.
Good morning, James.
Good morning.
Before I ask to my joke, you know the joke about the prostitute and the koala bear? What's the punchline? I forgot it. I know he eats leaves. Sorry, pushes something and leaves. What's the middle one?
Shoots.
Shoots. Oh, right, lovely.
Right, you've got that now, have you?
Right, thank you.
It's
Right,
just between you and me, that one, John. Okay.
Right, here we go. This little old lady goes into a Jewish hardware shop. And she says, Mr. Goldberg, I'd like to buy fans. It's a really hot day. Do you have any? He says, fans? I've got loads of fans. I've got these lovely imported fans, £75. Oh, yeah. I've got £50 fans, £40 fans, £30 fans, £20 fans, and £10 fans. Even £5 fans. I've even got these little fans here, look, 25p. So she thinks, well, it might rain tomorrow, so I'll have a 25p fan. So she gives him the money. She goes out into the road. And she opens the fan up, goes to use it, and it breaks. So he goes back in the shop, says, Mr. Goldberg, I just bought this fan in here, and I opened it up, did that, and it broke. So he went, what fan was it? Was it the £75 fan? She went, no. Was it the £50 fan? No. Was it the £40 fan? No. Was it the £30?
Got the picture, yeah. No.
£20, £10, no. Yeah. Was it the £5 fan? No. Was it the £2 fan? No. Was it the £25p fan? She went, yes, right. What did you do? So she goes, I did that and did that. He goes, oh, no. The 25p fan, you do this and do this.
Yes! Tremendous! Someone who's... That's right. Now then, so how much were those fans again?
£75.
Yeah, all right, thank you. John in Putney, brilliant. That's good. Remember, it's the fan gag. That could be the one you want to vote for. I just remembered about the voting. Stephen in Livingston, you're on TalkSport. Oh, else is just me. Stephen in Livingstone.
Hello.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Yes.
How you doing?
Doesn't matter. Get on with the gag.
Two gay cowboys talking to each other.
Yeah.
One of them says, yep. The other one says, yep.
Well, we'll have to take that one at face value. Thank you, Stephen. Now suddenly, almost when it's too late, things are improving, like Blusher arriving from the east. Jimmy in Lincolnshire. Jimmy, come on, TalkSport and beat that one.
Hello, James.
Jimmy.
2 quick ones for you. First one, which hand is the frog in?
Good, good, good.
And which hand is the Viagra tablet in?
Oh, yes, that's the idea. Why do you think we've suddenly had a load of people who know what's going on here, whereas the first half hour was people who probably can't work out which way to sit round on the toilet?
They just come out the pub.
Ah, right, good.
One more quick one, it's an old one.
That's all right.
She lies in bed with nothing on except for her black socks and her black gloves, looking like the Five of Clubs.
Yes, but there we're running into this sort of crossover area between something which relies on a visual act and something that you just have to visualise. Like the doctor who is... A woman comes into his surgery and he can't help but notice that she's got an enormous, and I'm going to use this word now on the radio, bust. It doesn't offend you, does it?
Definitely not.
Okay, right. He said, by Jove, he said, you do have, I can't help but notice, from a medical point of view, you do have extremely large breasts, madam. She said, yes, well, that's what I've come to see you about. He said, because they're so heavy that they are giving me trouble with my back and my posture. And I wonder, could you do anything about it? He says, the first thing I'll have to do is weigh them.
Long time ago, I had that one.
Hey. Oh, there, you've got a dirty laugh, though. That's excellent. So she says, go on then. So he goes, way!
Hey.
Yes, that's the idea. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you,
Up your pop now. That's, oh, you see, now it's coming back to me now. All of these. This is donkey's years old as well. When they asked this, an octogenarian, or maybe even older, this bloke, what's the secret of his long life? And he says, nude women. So the interviewer says, I beg your pardon? He says, nude women. 6 o'clock every morning for an hour and a half, nude women. So, I see. And where do, who are these women? He says, no, not women. Women! I thank you. Kevin, in some preposterous place.
Hello?
Hello?
Right, I've got a gag for you, but it might need cleaning up a little bit.
Well, if it's visual, it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it.
It does matter to a degree. Okay.
Well, clean it up then.
I'll try. I'll remove the K and put a G. There's a vicar walking down the road, and he hears the word, oi, wanger. He says, I've seen you. He says, you're a wanger. And this man's looking around. He says, oh, I don't know where this voice is coming from. So he goes home and he's scratching his head. The following day, he's walking down the same road and he hears, oi, wanger, wanger. Then he walks a bit further down the road and he sees a pet shop. He looks in the window and there's a parrot in the window. And he looks straight back at him and says, I've been watching you and you're a wanger. And the vicar's shocked. He goes in, he sees the man in the pet shop and he says, I'm a man of the cloth. You've got a bird in the window. It's been shouting obscenities at me. He says, oh, no, not that parrot again. He says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bind his beak up and I promise you'll never hear another word. He says, OK. He says, but make sure you do. Following day, he's walking down the road. It's absolute quiet. Absolute quiet. He sticks his head in the pet shop and the parrot goes...
Lovely! Yes! I was in two minds there. I wasn't sure which way that one was going to go, but that'll do you. Thank you very much indeed, Kevin, on a funicular railway, I think. Right, extraordinary. Is it Vic or is it Swindon? Must be Swindon then.
Hello?
Melvin.
No.
No.
Mel.
Mel.
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah, okay. I've got a visual gag for you then.
Okay, Mel in Swindon.
Yep, two guys on the toilet seat.
Yes.
One got pissed off.
That's not visual.
It's good, though.
Well, it's all right, yeah.
Yeah. It is visual. You have to think about it, don't you? You have to imagine it.
That's not the point.
Well, it is.
No, it's not. Visual gag.
Yeah.
Look, let me put it this way.
Go on, then.
Could you tell that gag on the television with the sound turned off?
No.
There.
No, could some of the other jokes I've just heard tonight.
Well, no, you'd have to have the sound on some of the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. That was a bad way of explaining it. Shut your face. I blame you altogether. Okie dokie.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Bye.
No, I think nothing of it. 5 minutes to 1. I must tell you this now, just because, and this is like James's final or penultimate thought. It's to do with, look, you know when you buy a house, that's the thing, yeah, house, big thing, yeah. You get all this documentation and you lose track of it, and all this, and all you know is that the solicitor's making lots of money out of it. Okay. So, my mate's looking at this thing. This is only tonight, actually. He's looking at this lease, and it says the ground rent or something on this place will be, at the moment it's 250 quid a year. It's £200 a year. It'll be rising to £250 a year in 2021, and it will be increased to £300 a year in 2071. Now, when you hear like Captain's Log, Stardate, this, that and the other, you think, well, that's the far distant future and it's science fiction and right. But when you see that written down, clearly saying, you know, the house will still be here, but you know that in 2071 there is not a chance that you will still be here. I'd almost like to leave you with that thought. You know what I mean? You don't care about Buck Rogers in the 25th century, who was the first chicken in space, by the way. But when you see it written down like that, that is... We'll finish off in Yorkshire. Let's, John?
Yeah.
Have I depressed you there?
No, not at all.
No, I was trying really quite hard.
Okay.
Okay, then you're on TalkSport, visual gag, yeah?
You have to bear with me on this one, because it sounds like it won't be, but it is.
That'll do, that's lovely. It's not the first one like that tonight.
And it's another pet shop one.
Oh, good.
There's a guy walks in a pet shop, and he wants an unusual pet, but he doesn't want to look after it. So he asks the guy if he's got anything that he can keep, a bit interesting, doesn't take a lot of looking after. So he goes, all right, you need an octopus. He says, it's dead easy to look after. He says, all your friends will talk about it. All you got to do, take it out of his tank now and again, put it on a sheet of polythene so it doesn't dry up, tip the dirty water out and put some clean water back in, pick your octopus back up and put it in the tank. So he thinks, fair enough. And he gets around to cleaning it out, and he puts it on a sheet of polythene, and he changes the water, and he goes to pick his octopus back up, and he can't get the tentacles off the polythene because they're stuck down with the suckers.
Oh.
So he tries to pick one up, and he picks it up, and he picks the other one up, and the octopus just puts it back down again. So he rings the guy up, and he says, I can't get my octopus back off the polythene, he's stuck down. He goes, no. He says, you're trying to pick it up? He says, yeah. He goes, no, you've got to use a shovel. So he goes to the shed, and he gets a shovel, and he puts it underneath the octopus, and he heaves with all his might, but he still can't get the tentacles up. He can get one up at a time, but he just puts it back down again.
Mm-hmm.
So he rings the guy back up again, and he says, I've done that with a shovel, but I can get one up, and he puts the others back down again.
Yeah,
he goes, no. He says, hit it over the head. So he says, you what? He says, hit it over the head, trust me. So he goes back, he gets his shovel, he hits the octopus over the head, and the octopus goes, ow!
I go! Now that's not bad at all. I told you this was an award winner. Well, certainly it's won me my ticket out of here. Chris Ashley is next. This will go down in history. Chris Ashley's with you after the 1 o'clock news. I'm back Friday night at 10 o'clock.
On the hour updates from the Sky News Centre, 10:89 and 10:53 a.m. Talk Sport.